Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online.
Night. Happy New Year.
Handcuffed, under guard, and wishing his captors a Happy New Year. That's Nicolas Maduro, escorted by U.S. federal agents through Drug Enforcement Administration headquarters after his capture in Venezuela. U.S. prosecutors accuse Maduro of narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation, and the use and possession of machine guns and other destructive devices. Maduro and his government have denied the charges, calling them politically motivated fabrications. His detention has already sent shockwaves across Latin America, raising questions about sovereignty, international law, and how one country can seize the leader of another.
At the start of this operation, American forces carried out misleading airstrikes on Venezuelan military bases so that Venezuela's focus could be immediately directed towards the military bases and explosions. The electricity of the entire area was also cut off. When Venezuelan forces rushed to deal with the attacks on these military bases, at that very moment American Night Stalkers and American Special Forces quietly advance. Meanwhile, an internal informant within the CIA tracked Nicolas Maduro's every move, every moment, and continuously provided that information to the CIA. At the same time, in the Caribbean Sea, 15,000 American soldiers, F-35 fighter jets, F-22 Raptors, and warships were already positioned. The sounds of explosions in Caracas were so intense that people felt their houses would collapse. In the cover of this noise and chaos, American forces quietly enter Nicolas Maduro's compound. When Nicolas Maduro realizes this, he tries to run towards the safe house. It is said that the American Delta Force breaks the steel doors of Nicolas Maduro's compound in seconds and takes the president into custody.
So the big question now is, who's actually in charge of Venezuela? According to Donald Trump, it's the United States until what he calls a safe and proper transition has been achieved. But on the ground, Maduro's allies remain in power. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has stepped in as interim president and is demanding Maduro's release, calling him the country's only legitimate leader. The US president has warned Venezuela's interim leader to behave, threatening further action and saying she could face a higher price than Nicolas Maduro if she fails to cooperate. Venezuela's closest allies, Russia, China, and Iran, have strongly condemned the US action, calling it a violation of sovereignty and an act of aggression. While some of America's allies praise the operation as a step toward change in Venezuela. The United Nations and the European Union stressed the importance of restraint, warning that international law must be respected. That split reaction has now spilled onto the streets, with anti-US protests erupting around the world. Despite the backlash and protests, there are no signs the US is backing down. President Trump has issued blunt warnings to leaders across the region, signaling the operation could expand into broader confrontation.
Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you. Yeah. By the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get their act together because they're pouring through Mexico, and we're going to have to do something. Cuba is ready to fall, you know? Yes. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down.
And the warnings don't stop in Latin America. The US president is now facing pushback from Europe, Denmark to be more specific, over comments targeting Greenland.
Donald Trump has confirmed that the Venezuelan intervention probably isn't the last, saying that we need Greenland. Greenland is fully on his mind, essentially, that we need Greenland for America's national defense. This comes after Katie Miller, Stephen Miller's wife, the deputy chief of staff, essentially put out a tweet showing the United States flag over the Greenland. That's prompted rebuke and condemnation from Danish government officials along with the Greenland government officials as well, who are all urging the United States to show respect for Greenland sovereignty.
The Prime Minister of Denmark did respond to the continued threats and rhetoric from the U.S. and Trump about annexing Greenland, which, by the way, is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. And since Denmark is a NATO member, they are therefore covered by the NATO security guarantees, aka Article 5, that an attack on one is an attack on all.
President Trump's threats have also extended to Iran. He has warned that the U.S. was locked and loaded and ready to go if peaceful protesters were killed, though he stopped short of specifying what action the U.S. would take. Iran's leader Ali Khamenei hit back, saying that Tehran will not yield to the enemy. The country has been gripped by a wave of protest over the high cost of living and inflation. At least 16 demonstrators were killed by Monday. The protests are the biggest in 3 years since the 2022 uprising. That was sparked by the death in custody of Mahsa Amini, a young woman accused by morality police of wearing her veil inappropriately. This time, protests started among shopkeepers and quickly spread to university students. Iran's currency, the rial, has lost almost half of its value last year, creating further hardship for its citizens.
Political system is deeply paralyzed, very narrow space for any politics at all, and the media environment is suffocated. On top of that, you have an economy that's in total free fall, the pauperization of the whole country. And in the last 2 years where I've been spending time there, the combination of economic mismanagement and U.S. sanctions have resulted in really deteriorated living standards. Iran wasn't even able to buy vaccines for COVID. So, I see it in the lives of friends, relatives, that materially people are so much worse off than ever before.
Right now, my people in Iran are living through a breaking point, and my brothers and sisters are crying for help. This didn't start because people woke up angry. It started because life became unlivable. The currency collapsed, prices exploded, food, rent, medicine, basic survival slipped out of the reach for millions. Shopkeepers closed their doors, students filled the streets. Families realized they are working just to fall further behind. And that's why the protests began days ago. Because when people can't live, they stop pretending. But here's what the world keeps oversimplifying. This isn't just an economic crisis. It's a historical reckoning. Persians are not protesting for luxury. They're protesting because they remember who they are.
Our people are at risk, so everyone that is Iranian or isn't Iranian, please try and spread awareness as much as possible, because our people are protesting peacefully for a change in their life that they deserve. The government has been decreasing the quality of our life day to day, year by year. It's constantly getting worse, putting us in worse situations that we didn't ask for. The people of Iran need our help. It's our right to protest. It's our right to go against government actions where we have no control.
To ease the economic pressure, the government announced on Sunday that a monthly allowance of $7 will be granted to all citizens. The program will run for 4 months and will be distributed in the form of credit to purchase certain items. Iran's economy has been struggling with US and international sanctions over its nuclear program. Minimum wage in the country of $85 million is $100, and average monthly salaries are double that. Israel has revoked the licenses of 37 humanitarian organizations operating in Gaza, including Doctors Without Borders, Oxfam, and the Norwegian Refugee Council. Their licenses were cancelled starting on January 4th, requiring these groups to end their activities by March. They are among the most well-known groups working in Gaza, alongside the United Nations agencies. The ban came despite the declared ceasefire back in October. UN data shows that by mid-December, only 57% of planned aid missions were carried out because of Israeli restrictions. Humanitarian groups warn that the blockade and limits on aid are worsening the situation in Gaza.
Israel is officially banning 37 humanitarian aid organizations from continuing their operations in Gaza. This is due to non-compliance with their new security vetting rules that they established back in March that essentially call for the expansive details of staff members of organizations, their operations and plans, as well as funding and budget. They even go as far to say that they will refuse any organization to continue that potentially denies the existence of Israel, supports any type of boycotts, and backs armed struggle. Israel is officially the first country in the world to ban
and Doctors Without Borders.
According to The Guardian, life-saving items like generators, metal pallets, and even tent poles are blocked by Israel for humanitarian groups because they say they're security risks. But those exact same items are being allowed in through private businesses. They go through the same Israeli checkpoints, then get sold in Gaza at huge markups. So this is not a logistics problem. It is a political one.
As the year kicks off, the internet is already looking ahead. Across social media, people are posting their predictions for 2026, from global politics to pop culture.
Deaths. I think the king probably, he's old, 4 years, on throne, can't see him lasting much longer.
The iPhone folder, the iPhone Ultra, is gonna sell like hotcakes, and it's gonna make Android users very upset. Number 2, we'll see a lot of hype for AI smart glasses that nobody will actually end up buying. Number 3, we're gonna see some sort of ChatGPT device. It'll be overpriced, and buying one will be very frowned upon. And finally, I feel good about this one. People are gonna get so sick of AI that they downgrade to older iPhones.
I think Vine is coming back. I've seen it on the web, and they're not allowing AI. I think it's either gonna be everything we want or it's gonna flop big time.
I hope it's something we want because of death to AI.
We'll see the first major AI exhaustion backlash. People get tired of AI generated low quality content, and they will actively seek out human creativity and the human heart in everything.
I think Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet will break up. I also think we might be getting a new Rihanna album. Maybe that's just wishful thinking.
Beyonce Act 3, it will be a rock album. This is what I'm hoping for. Sinners wins Best Picture. 2026 will be the romance renaissance in film and TV. We have so many movies coming out. Eagles win their second Super Bowl. We're gonna have a couple hard launch at the World Cup. There's so many games in the US. There's gonna be bound to be an appearance.
They have Bieberchella not living up to the hype and Eddie Benjamin getting backlash for being too much on stage. I feel like Olivia Rodrigo is going to give us the song of this summer.
This is going to be the year of Ariana Grande. I also just want to manifest that. She's going to win an Oscar for Wicked, finally, and it's really going to make her be seen as like this big famous movie star. The Eternal Sunshine Tour will be like a farewell tour to her pop career, now that she's kind of moving on to be a movie actress.
I think that Timothée Chalamet is going to be snubbed at the Oscars this year. I saw the movie last night. It was fantastic. Given last year Mikey Madison won for Best Actress, I don't think that they're going to give the Oscar to a young actor 2 years in a row. I think, unfortunately, that means Timmy's getting snubbed this year. Euphoria is going to flop. I think that the reviews are going to be horrible, and the writing is just not going to live up to the hype.
I think this is going to be the year for pop culture. Like, I think everything's going to be back. I think award shows are going to be back like never before. I think the Met Gala is going to be like Heavenly Bodies level back. I just feel like we're going to be so back. Like, reality TV is going to get good. Competition TV is going to get good. Most watched traders ever. It's just going to be at an all-time high.
Back to Maduro's abduction. While the chattering classes debated the legality of it all, the fashionistas were busy dissecting his drip. He was seen wearing a number of different outfits since his capture, but one in particular stood out. So the real question is, are the days of the quarter zip officially over?
Bro, what are you wearing right now?
What do you mean, bro?
A Nike Tech, glasses and headphones? Like, bro, who do you think you are? Bro, you're copying that guy Maduro, the president from Venezuela. That's what he was wearing.
Bro, I did not copy him.
Also, apparently, the outfit that he was wearing when he got captured, this outfit right here, sold out on Nike within an hour.
It's probably best the marketing intern doesn't catch wind of this. The last thing I want to see, I think, is a get ready with me in my Nike Techs inspired by Nicolas Maduro.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.